So, when you're younger and everything you do feels like it's being graded by some individual panel of judges, like the way you dress, the subjects you study, even the hobbies you pick, everything feels like it's being measured but what other people will think of it. And you kind of get used to living that way. You start making choices based on this imagined audience in your head. And I think that's how so many of us end up not actually living for ourselves, but living for this imaginary version of other people's approval. Hi, I'm Nagin. Welcome back to my channel. So, I don't know if it's just age or experience, but something shifted for me. Like, genuinely, one day I woke up and it was like, wait a minute, who actually cares? Like, I'm 28, and this really hit me one day recently. And the thought was like so freeing, like no one else is living my life. At the end of the day, when I go to bed at night, I'm the one stuck with my thoughts. I'm the one who has to live with the consequences of my choices. And when I'm 40, I don't want to look back and think, wow, I lived a whole decade just trying to make other people comfortable. So I used to be the queen of people pleasing. I mean, genuinely, whether it was in school, in university, even at work, I would bend myself into shapes just so people would think highly of me. Like, I'd say yes to extra projects, or I'd study things I wasn't even passionate about, or I'd take part in extracurricular activities just because it looked impressive. And from the outside, it did look impressive, like people probably thought, oh wow, she's really got it together. But on the inside, I was bored, like I wasn't fulfilled. And that's the thing. When you're constantly performing for other people, you end up feeling empty because applauses feels nice for like just a second. But then what? You're back in your own head, wondering why you feel miserable, even though everyone else is patting you on the back. So the turning point for me was honestly just asking a really simple question. If I was 40, looking back at my life, what would I actually want to see? Not what would look good to others, not what would make people think I was successful, but what would make me so proud. And when I did that, a few things became really clear. Like, I've always wanted to be a pianist, like a proper professional level pianist, not to show off, not to perform at, I don't know, like Royal Albert Hall or anything like that, although that would be really cool. But because when I play the piano, I feel like myself. Same with singing, same with the path I've taken in engineering and science. So I don't want to just get a stable job. I want to create, discover, be part of something exciting. And another big one for me is freedom. So I want to work for myself, build my own thing, have control over my day. I know I cannot be fully happy working under someone else's rules because I've felt that. I felt that restriction before, and it just drains me to work for someone else. And that's why I'm taking YouTube seriously now, because it ticks so many of those boxes. Like, I can share what I've learned, I can be creative, I can build something sustainable, and along the way, I can design a lifestyle that actually feels good to me. So, I want you to actually sit with yourself and do the same exercise. So, grab a notebook, grab your phone notes, whatever works for you, and literally write down what actually matters to me. If I wasn't scared of disappointing anyone, if I wasn't trying to impress anyone, what would my life look like? And be honest with yourself, because I think deep down you already know that. You already know the subject you wish you were studying in university or school. You already know the kind of work that excites you. You already know which hobbies you wish you had more time for. But you bury it because you're scared of what people will think if you make a change. And I've been there. So I remember when I first started doing things differently, the reactions weren't all positive, like family especially. They notice when you change, obviously, because I used to be really like quiet, reserved person, barely spoke up in gatherings. And then when I started becoming more confident and speaking my mind, people were like, whoa, what happened to her? Like, even they would throw little digs like, Oh, you used to be so spoiled and now you're suddenly all independent. And you can tell it comes from a place of jealousy because people don't like when you outgrow the version of you they're comfortable with. But here's the thing, the discomfort is not your problem. People project those insecurities onto you when you grow. So if your growth makes them uncomfortable, that's a sign you're moving in the right direction, actually. And I'll be real with you, it doesn't happen overnight. You don't just wake up one day and stop caring about other people's opinions. It's a gradual process. You'll still feel that stink when someone makes a comment. You'll still feel self-conscious when you take a risk. But the more you practice choosing yourself, the easier it gets. So here's a practical thing you can do. Whenever you're about to make a decision, ask yourself this. Am I doing this because I actually want it, or because I want people to approve of me? It sounds simple, but it changes everything. Like, for example, when you pick your degree, are you studying law, science, engineering, whatever, because you genuinely love it or because it looks prestigious? Are you doing that workout because you enjoy it or because you want other people to say you look good? So when you say yes to a social event, is it because you want to actually go or because you don't want to be judged for saying no? So that awareness alone can change so much, because the truth is, half of the time, people aren't even paying as much attention as you think. They don't care as much as you think they do. Like, you're not living in their heads, you're living in yours. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope this video helped you, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.